So, the Venom and Carnage buffs went live today on the beta, and we've already done a video looking at Carnage, and the damage output of that champion is absolutely ridiculous. However, we have also received contact from a player known as the One Who Laughs, who currently has Venom at 565, so has this dude fully maxed out, dupe level 200, and I must say, some of this stuff is ridiculously impressive. So here we have an insane beatdown of Captain Marvel in Realm of Legends, and Venom has quite a lot of new abilities and stuff that have been added to the character. Pretty much kind of a good 80% of this character's abilities have been changed from what they were previously. Like, Venom has had much more of a rework than Carnage, because Carnage got a little bit more of a rebalancing and kind of like a couple of stuff on top, which have made him like a really big kind of like ramp up powerhouse. And I think just in terms of damage, like the damage on Venom seems really good, but I think Carnage has kind of some more ramp up potential when it comes to those bigger labyrinth style fights. And I think overall this Captain Marvel kill is something in the region of like 2 minutes and about 20 seconds or something like that, and 111 hits, which is still really impressive, man. Miles better, but also specifically in this matchup, Venom does have an additional ability which he gains against heroes to increase the chance of him applying his bleeds by like 15%, which means that on almost every single critical hit you get a bleed now. So just slicing through that Captain Marvel there, it is so satisfying to watch that bleed damage. And yeah, I feel like Venom and Carnage are going to make such great 6-star champions, and I wish they were in the pool instead of like Deadpool, X-Force, and Cyclops. So yeah, I really hope they get added soon as 6-star characters, but if you got a 5-star of either one, you are in a lot of luck. Especially considering Venom is getting significantly more utility. Like, at the moment, the character pretty much does nothing, but after the update, he's got Armor Break, the ability to counter the Spider-Man, a really good counter for Infinity War Iron Man, potentially, and yeah, a few other tricks up his sleeve as well. So we're going to go into the abilities now and talk about exactly what has changed with Venom. But before we get into it, mad love to my boy Webster for sending across the synergies and also abilities. So the first thing is Venom has 3 new synergies. He's got one with Green Goblin or Vulture, which gives him 1 more max genetic memory buff cap, gives Vulture 200 armor versus special attacks while an armor up buff is active. Not really that useful unless you want to eat a lot of special attacks. And Green Goblin gains plus 1% attack for each madness and cunning charge. So yeah, not really too much there, but hey, a little bit more for Green Goblin. He also has a new synergy with himself, kind of like the Gold Pool one, so you don't need anybody else but Venom to trigger this, and this causes all symbiote champions to gain plus 4% attack and health. So yeah, I think that's very niche at the moment, like Venom Carnage, Venom Pool, maybe symbiote Spider-Man as well. So yeah, not too much going on there, and finally he's got a crit node as well with She-Hulk and Carnage added in. So yeah, 3 more synergies on Venom. So his new awakened ability allows him to guarantee the start of the fight he has 2 of his genetic memory buffs active, but also depending on the signature level is going to give him a chance at the 3rd, and also depending on the signature level is going to increase the potency and effectiveness of those buffs, but that's only by a little bit as well. So yeah, it's a good awakened ability to have. It doesn't seem like the biggest game changer, but it's kind of like a nice icing on the cake awakened ability. So yeah, not too bad at all. His genetic memory buffs are fairly similar to what they were before, so every 9 seconds he's going to gain a random one of them, so it's either going to be physical resistance, armor up, cruelty, precision, or fury, and the resist physical and armor up are going to be pretty useless when you're playing the character unless you're getting hit. I'd really like to see these 2 removed. In all honesty, I don't feel like they serve too much of a purpose. Even on defense, they're not really much, and I feel like they'd make the character even more fun to play if they just were not in the rotation at all. And I don't think these buffs, you know, in terms of how they scale, are anything like super overpowered that they're going to be really game changing if the resist physical and armor up were removed. So yeah, I'd certainly like to see that on the character. One of the things that has changed, though, is there's going to be a visible mutation timer. The Clintar mutation buff, I'm probably mispronouncing that. But yes, you can actually interrupt that buff if you are fighting against Venom by incinerating him. So that's something to, keep in mind as well. Maybe Massacre is going to be quite good for interrupting some of these buffs against Venom. So while he is generating a buff, which is going to be all the time on the provision that you aren't incinerated, you get a little bit more attack. It's something like 15% more attack, but also 3 additional effects, which are very, very important. So the first one is Hero Champions, plus 15% bleedability accuracy, and this has great synergy with the critical hits. The second one, which is probably one of the biggest things for Venom in terms of his buff, is against Spider-Verse heroes, all attacks ignore passive evade effects. So when we're looking at classic Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Stark and Aunt Spider-Man, and also Spider-Gwen, Venom actually might be one of the best characters to fight those with, because he will completely ignore the evade now, and really any new evade counter is always very, very welcome. So yeah, Venom at rank 4, for example, or rank 5 might be a really, really good option now for something like Labyrinth of Legends Spider-Man, or Labyrinth of Legends Miles Morales, but it does, remain to be seen on that one. The final thing is that tech champions such as Vision, their power burn and power drain are not going to work on Venom unless he is affected again by an incinerate buff there. So yeah, pretty much has power burn immunity and power drain immunity against Vision. I don't know, there might be some circumstances where that comes in useful, but just something to keep in mind moving forward as well. Don't bring Vision against Venom. Also, a brand new armor break has been added onto Venom's heavy attack, and this is going to be really good for matchups like Killmonger, Emma Frost, where, it's really good just to throw a stack of armor break to negate some sort of, damage reduction mechanic or the damage back on Killmonger. So yeah, just kind of a nice utility addition there. The next brand new mechanic that Venom has is going to make him insane against Iron Man Infinity War. So when the opponent is below 18% health and it's 18%, kind of like sync up with Assassins, Venom's Bloodlust grants him True Strike and also unblockable special attacks. This means he's going to be able to bypass that pesky auto block on Iron Man Infinity War and just finish off kind of like evade auto block champions really, really easily. More champions that can deal with a low health Infinity War Iron Man, the better, so I'm super, super chuffed about this one. And next up we have the Special Attack 1, so this has actually been increased from a 45% chance per hit to a 55% chance to steal a buff and feed it to the symbiote, which is going to nullify the buff, trigger a genetic memory buff, and also heal Venom, which is a brand new ability. Again, it isn't the biggest heal in the world, but if you've got an opponent with a lot of buffs, you might be able to get quite a bit of regeneration off on this one. And hey, it's like a nice little thing for the character to have as well, as, these little bits of utility and also some pretty badass damage. And then we have the Special Attack 2, which is Venom is Unleashed, converting all genetic memory buffs into Fury, increasing attack by something that's around like 22-23% of Venom's base attack for 12 seconds. So in some of the sickest gameplay I've seen so far, which was at the start of the video, a lot of the rotation looked to be like spamming Special 1 and really trying to make the most of this. But also in the developer spotlight and the notes, it says, you really want to save up for some big bursty Special 2s, and kind of storing up all of these buffs and being able to convert them into like 12 seconds of absolute carnage, because as soon as you fire off the Special 2, all of that is instantly going to be converted into the attack, so the Special 2 is going to hit very, very hard, and then all of the damage after that is going to be very, very nice as well. So yeah, you just got a really, really big Special 2 that you can save up maybe to burst you through like certain phases and certain fights, so could be very, very useful there. And finally, with the Special 3, an Ambush attack grants Venom plus 5% damage during this attack for each buff that Venom has on him. So one of the things in the developer note was that this actually scales with like nodes that have buffs on as well. So I'm not too sure in terms of like playing the character, if there are many scenarios where you can take advantage of this. It's a little bit late at night. I can't really think of any nodes at the moment that would make Venom like really, really good to play on, but there are certainly like nodes on defense that add, you know, a lot of physical resistance, a lot of energy resistance as well. So if you get clipped by a special 3, you could get absolutely destroyed there. But then again, I don't know, I feel like Venom's still going to be pretty easy to fight, so I'm not really too sure if that special 3 is going to have much use. But hey, it's a cool and quirky thing to keep in mind for the future, and it might be pretty good at some point. So just to go back to the gameplay, this is unboosted Venom with the Electro, Carnage, Spider-Man Miles Morales, and also classic Spider-Man Synergy team. No boost, no suicide masteries. Just wanted to, you know, provide that additional information, but overall, I am very, very excited for the Venom buff, man. These buffs look so good, and they are so long overdue for 2 incredible characters. Like, I feel like Venom and Carnage have always been such fun champions to play in terms of their animations, especially Venom. He is like a massive OG champion in MCOC, and he feels so much fun to play, and it is good to see him finally getting the love that he deserves. I feel like he's going to have, again, a really great place for a lot of progressing players fighting those annoying Spider-Man related characters. He's going to be good for dealing with Iron Man Infinity Wars. Like against heroes, you have almost 100% chance to bleed on every single critical hit. Great synergy with deep wounds there. And yeah, a little bit of regeneration, a little bit of nullify. If this Venom update does go live, then he just is set to be a bit of a Swiss Army knife that can pack a really good punch. So yeah, credit where credit is due, man. I think they have done a tremendous job with both the Carnage and Venom reworks. I really hope the developers are happy with them and are kind of getting the response and reception that they wanted from both of them. Because yeah, Kabam Ian has done an absolutely smashing job. We talked in length about the Carnage buff at New York Comic Con last year, and yeah, 2 weeks today we are also going to be at New York Comic Con as well, so that is coming around the corner. Yeah, if these buffs do go through, man, I look forward to shaking his hand on a job well done, because yeah, they have done an incredible amount of justice for both of these characters, and I've been very pleased this year with the Red Hulk revamp. The Luke Cage revamp was absolutely phenomenal. So yeah, they seem to be on a really good track for champion revamps, and I like that, you know, instead of selling us synergies via new characters that make old characters, you know, good, that they're actually going back and taking some developer time and resource to actually address some balancing on characters that very much need it. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think of the Carnage and Venom buffs in the beta in the comments section below. Which one do you like more? Which character do you think is a little bit more hype? Aside from that, thank you for watching, and have an absolutely fantastic day.